Why Jungkook appears to shine the brightest in BTS. The real reasons explained at first. It feels almost unexplainable. Point 7 names. 7 talents. 1 global phenomenon. Yet somehow, whenever BTS steps onto a stage, releases new music, or trends across social media, one name seems to echo just a little louder than the rest. Jungkook. Is it coincidence? Is it favoritism? Or is there something deeper happening beneath the surface that most people never stop to question? Because the truth is, Jungkook didn't suddenly become the spotlight of BTS overnight. His rise wasn't accidental, and it certainly wasn't effortless. It was a slow, carefully layered story, one shaped by timing, responsibility, expectation, and an unrelenting pressure that began when he was barely a teenager. When Jungkook joined BTS, he wasn't just the youngest. He was the one carrying the weight of potential. From the very beginning, he was trained not only to sing, but to represent balance. Vocally stable, visually adaptable, technically sharp. In the structure of K-pop, this combination quietly places someone at the center long before the world notices. And that's where the story truly begins. In BTS's early years, Jungkook wasn't always the loudest presence. He didn't dominate interviews. He didn't lead conversations. In fact, he often stood slightly behind the others, listening more than speaking. But on stage, something changed. His voice anchored choruses. His movements locked the choreography together. When performances needed precision, consistency, and reliability, Jungkook was the one the group leaned on. This is where perception starts to shift at global audiences, especially those discovering BTS for the first time. Jungkook often became the entry point. His vocals were easy to connect with. His pronunciation in English songs felt natural. His performance style blended intensity with approachability. Without realizing it, casual listeners began associating BTS's sound and image with him. But here's the part many people misunderstand. Jungkook doesn't shine because the others don't. He shines because his role was designed to absorb light and reflect it outward. As BTS expanded beyond Korea and into Western markets, that reflection became stronger. International radio favored voices that felt familiar to pop listeners. Global charts responded to melodies that crossed language barriers effortlessly. Jungkook's tone, control, and versatility fit directly into that space. And then came the turning point. When BTS entered a period of reduced group activity, the narrative could have fractured. Instead, it sharpened. Jungkook stepped forward not as a replacement for BTS, but as an extension of it. His solo releases weren't experimental side projects. They were globally strategic, polished, and unmistakably mainstream, yet still rooted in the discipline he learned as part of the group. This is where the spotlight intensified. Songs like his solo hits didn't just perform well. They traveled. They reached listeners who had never actively followed BTS. Suddenly, Jungkook wasn't only representing himself. He was carrying the group's legacy into new spaces, new playlists, new audiences. And here's the twist most people miss. The more Jungkook stood out individually, the more visible BTS became collectively. His success didn't eclipse the group. It extended its reach. Behind the scenes, the dynamic never changed. RM remained the voice of leadership and vision. Suga continued shaping sound and structure. J-Hope pushed performance boundaries. Jimin expressed emotion through movement. V painted atmosphere with tone and artistry. Jin anchored warmth and stability. Jungkook's role was never to replace these elements, but to bridge them to the world. What we're witnessing now is an imbalance that's timing to in every global group. There are moments when one member becomes the focal lens through which the world looks. Not because the others disappear, but because the moment demands a particular combination of skill, presence, and adaptability. Right now, Jungkook stands at that intersection, and it hasn't come without cost. Being the one who shines the brightest also means carrying expectations heavier than applause. Every performance is dissected. Every choice is amplified. Every silence becomes speculation. Jungkook's calm demeanor isn't detachment, it's endurance. When people ask why Jungkook appears to shine the brightest in BTS, the answer isn't competition. It's alignment. Alignment between talent and timing, between preparation and opportunity, between personal growth and collective legacy. And the story isn't finished, because BTS has always moved in cycles. Solo light feeds group fire. Individual paths strengthen collective return. When the seven reunite fully, that brightness won't vanish. It will merge. That if this perspective changed the way you see Jungkook, or even BTS as a whole, stay with us. Like the video, subscribe, and share your thoughts below, because the most interesting part of this story isn't who shines the brightest, but how seven different lights continue to shape one of the most influential groups in music history.